leadership coach responding to Reddit posts. David J. Archibald wrote, "What is one moment that made you realize your leadership style needed to change?" This is a great question because I actually feel that a lot of leaders don't actually realize this until it's too late. Take a moment to actually analyze and self-reflect until something's gone wrong and something really, really bad has gone wrong. I actually believe one of the key attributes of a great leader is self-reflection, self-analysis, to be able to constantly be reviewing ourselves and our performance in everyday moments, not just after something went bad. Because we as leaders need to be regularly adapting. This question is great that it's like, when did you realize your leadership style needed to change? Well, usually it's after something bad has actually happened. We actually should change our leadership style in each moment. There are so many different leadership styles which we can execute on, and they are all relevant in the right situation. Sometimes we do have to be authoritarian, but we shouldn't be an authoritarian leader all the time. Sometimes we can be more of a mentoring leader, and we can do that, but not all of the time. Sometimes we can be a direct leader, an indirect leader, but we can't be that all of the time. I think one of the biggest keys is being able to adapt to the individual situation, and that's what makes a great leader. Now, also part of being a great leader is having self-awareness and understanding this is my style and this is the right situation for my leadership style, so I should seek out those situations for me to succeed the best. Sometimes I've worked with many leaders that are really incredible, amazing, some of the best indirect leaders, which means they're great from stage, they're great in front of a group, they're great at inspiring, they're great at driving forward vision, but they're terrible at being a direct leader. And what that means is working one-on-one with people, actually working on the day-to-day, being able to coach people through, be able to manage people a little bit more, be able to work on the day-to-day. And that, because they were great indirect leaders, they built great organizations and built incredible teams because people were attracted to that. But I saw a lot of people just disappearing out the back door. A lot of people affected, a lot of people damaged emotionally because they're a great indirect leader, which attracts people, but terrible direct leader. But they were not aware. They had blinders on. They weren't aware that they weren't a good indirect leader. They thought, because I'm attracting all these people, because I'm really good at this other stuff, that I'm a great leader. We need to be aware. And some of these people, which is what I did with some of my partners, they were great indirect leaders, but not great direct leaders, where I was able to balance both. I was able to come in and help inject into that organization a little bit of healthy direct leadership and release the leader to do the indirect leadership, because I knew that that was my role at the time and what I was good at. So part of the key of knowing when to change your style is, yes, in the moment, but I think a bigger question is understanding what your style is and finding the situations where that actually is best executed and where you can have the greatest success. Because it's best for us to work at our strengths rather than trying to just fix our weaknesses. But that being said, I didn't really answer the question, when did I realize my leadership style had to change? I remember this one conversation with a mentor. I was leading an organization of over 300 volunteers. And I had one of my mentors come to me and they just mentioned this very simple phrase. And it was meant to encourage me, but actually what it did is it really challenged me. And they said, "Craig, you're a leader of leaders." And that line stuck in my head. Hold on a second. I'm not just leading people. My responsibility, and this is just me, this is actually any leader, you are a leader of leaders because your responsibility is to raise up other people to be leaders as well. That's how you have the best growth in your organization. That's how you have the best growth in your career as a leader, is if you're raising up other leaders. But I remember when my mentor shared this with me, and for me, it was just a big aha moment. Because at that time, I was leading, but I was kind of more managing, right? I was just trying to get the job done the best it could be done and just running through and just making sure everyone was doing their right thing. And I was really just managing. But when I had this revelation of, hang on, I'm a leader of leaders, I then stepped back and went, well, hold on a second. What am I doing to raise up other leaders rather than just making sure things are done right? Because I was a really good leader. I was put in leadership roles because I was good at getting things done. but I wasn't focused on raising up other leaders. And so I actually went away after that. It was such a big impact for me that I went and did a master's in leadership because, well, if I'm responsible for leading people and raising up other leaders, this is actually way bigger than what I think it is. So I should go and invest my time and money in educating myself on how to be the best leader I can be. And so through that, I learned all these strategies, all these skills. Some of them were just confirmations of things I was already doing. Some were corrections of things I was doing wrong. But through this master's, I actually realized, hang on a second, there's all these strategies, there's all this stuff, but this information is only just information. And so I wanted to shift all that information to be turned around to actually help, to apply it. And so from that, and this is where another way where I felt that my leadership needed to change, is not just knowing the information myself, but how do I put it in a model, in a simple structure, so that it's easy for other people to understand as well, and easy for other people to take and run with. And that kind of birthed my evolution into leadership consulting. While I was at university, there was this one moment while I was studying my master's in leadership that actually made me check myself and analyze and forced me to change my leadership style. Is I realized, because through this time I did a lot of self-reflection and looked back and realized that yes, I have always been in leadership positions since school. I was school captain, I was captain of all the sports teams, I was whatever, like you name the project and I was a leader in it. But I realized I was leading wrong. But in that time, I just thought, well, it's because I'm best in the class. It's because I've got the best grades. It's because I'm a best player. That's why I'm the leader. But I realized that as a leader, I had a leadership style of being the best player. The biggest challenge with that was, as the best player, that means all performance lies on me. Everything is on me. And that's how I get burnt out. That's how you limit yourself, because most leaders are the bottleneck in their organization, in their teams, because they are trying to perform to be the best player. No. I was put in leadership positions because my teachers or my leaders saw leadership ability in me, but I didn't see that. I didn't understand that. So I realized going through university, looking back on that hang on a second, I don't need to be the best player. I need to shift my leadership style so that I can raise up the best players rather than being the best player. And so I hope as a leader, you don't reach a bad point, a real failure, everything's falling apart, for you to take a little bit of time to step back, do some self-analysis and see, one, does my leadership style need to change? What is my leadership style? And where can I best implement it? Where can I be most successful as a leader with my leadership style? Also remember, how can I be adaptable as a leader to each individual situation?